I sometimes have difficulty making videos because the subject is hard to talk about. Then there are videos that I have trouble making because I want to talk about something, but I'm not entirely sure what to say. For example, while I was in the hospital, I read a bunch of articles about PewDiePie saying the N-word on a live stream or something to that effect, and a bunch of people reacting and a bunch of people shocked. And I don't really know where to go with this entirely, because for me this is a normal thing, not a good thing. You can live in a culture where something is normal and still not approve of it, but the reality is that PewDiePie, he's nowhere near alone. This is not remotely a new situation that has suddenly happened to the gaming community and oh my god, let's all clutch our pearls and panic. The reality is that PewDiePie is a symptom of exactly why I've been distancing myself from gamer culture and the gaming community in general, because there's this level of toxicity towards minorities, towards women. PewDiePie doesn't appear to have been really affected all that much by this, but let's assume for a moment that he had been. Let's assume that the most severe case had happened. He had lost his audience, he had lost his channel, and therefore lost his platform. PewDiePie is now gone. Well, now what? Okay, nothing has really changed except for the one guy who was in the public eye is no longer in the public eye. So things kind of go back to normal. Things go to the point where gamers get to pretend that racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism aren't part of the daily vernacular. But the reality is that it's hard to go online unless you're on like a really dumbed down Nintendo style system. It's hard to go online and not find white supremacist bullshit, sexual harassment, blatant sexism, homophobia, etc. In fact, with the push for more and more connectivity, there are penalties for just trying to play a game solo nowadays, and even if you are playing what used to be single-player content, it's still easy to become connected to people who say these things. And the gaming community is largely silent about it. When it's brought up, however, they get angry, and they start to shout down the people who bring it up, which gives the impression that the gaming community is okay with or actively supports this sort of conduct, until it's in the public eye. People like PewDiePie exist because this sort of thing has been going on in the gaming community unchallenged for decades, unchallenged and sometimes even supported and defended. This isn't even really the first time this sort of thing has come up. It's just the first time it's happened with somebody who's got 900 billion subscribers like PewDiePie does. JonTron espoused some really stupid ideas, and there was a lot of backlash over it relative to the size of his channel, but he's not in the public eye the same way that PewDiePie is. A lot of other gaming channels have said a lot of stupid things, have espoused white supremacist ideals, have yelled and screamed at women in violent and threatening manners, have been homophobic, transphobic, have been outright anti-Semitic or anti-Islamic. And it's just kind of been tolerated by the majority of the community, or defended. There are people out there who oppose these things. This is true. I'm not saying that every gamer is a horrible, toxic piece of crap, although I'm sure that makes a great quote mine. What I am saying is that stuff like this doesn't come out of a vacuum, and the gaming community has sent the overwhelming message that it's okay with this sort of behavior for a very long time, and has no grounds to suddenly act shocked when it happens on a large enough scale for other people to take notice. Gamers often take issue with the image of the hateful man-child living in his mom's basement, and yet the public face that's put to the world is largely an angry, screaming child or childish adult, usually white, usually male, usually very, very angry at women and minorities. And this goes unchallenged. Or worse, instead of challenging the notion, they start to lash out at the media. Well, it's the media's fault for portraying these people that we just sort of ignore and let do all this hateful stuff. it's not our fault that we're totally okay with this, and in fact often complicit with this. Gamers, you got an image problem, and it's completely within your power to solve this image problem. But it's never going to be solved, and it's not going to go away as long as the immediate reaction is to lash out at the media for daring to cover it, because it's not their fault. I got sick of being associated with such a toxic culture, so I tried to change it. And gamers got very, very angry. The gaming community didn't want to change. They said things were fine. So I left. I don't want to associate with the gaming community anymore. And if you have any pretenses at being a decent person, you probably shouldn't either. Thanks for listening. Amaranth, out.